to install this DWO-5 Sena headset. So this headset is specifically for the Bilt Techno helmet into several different varieties, but I got it really cheap and I just needed an extra headset. I was going to buy a cheap Chinese one, but this is just for my kids, so we can communicate and stuff when we're riding. And so I wanted to have something that they could communicate with me, and so this is a much better quality than those, of course, those cheap Chinese ones. So I wound up getting it for like $30 or something. So much better way to go. So what you can see, what I've done here is this one requires that there's a hole drilled out in this. This is an older motocross helmet. It still works well. It's DOT legal and that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this out. So this is kind of an experiment to see how it does, but I think it'll work. But I'll just cut this out here of this in here. And so what I've used, these are rubber gaskets that come with it. They've got 3 different gaskets, and this one looks like it'll be the one to use. And we just mashed that up, and I just used a Sharpie to draw that on there. And then I'm going to use a couple of different things. I'm going to use my Milwaukee oscillating tool, which is a really good tool for cutting through stuff, especially if you have to do any corners. And then of course I'm going to use my Milwaukee drill, just with a standard drill bit in there. So we'll see how this goes. That I think I want to do this carefully so it's as good as possible. So what I'm doing here, as you can see, is I'm matching this up to the size of the holes here. And so that one should work just fine. And something I didn't do is I need to pull these cheek pads out. Do this carefully so I don't drill into my own fingers. So you can see we just drilled 2 holes there, and then I'll just use my oscillating tool to drill around the outside. I think that will be the way to go. Now this is a polycarb shell. You know, this wouldn't be nearly as easy to cut if it was like my a fiberglass shell. And that, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to weaken this too much. I think it's pretty good that way. I push down to the top here. It doesn't seem to have weakened that at all, really, but like I say, these are, I wouldn't do this on like a street helmet or a race helmet, but on a basic helmet like this that's, you know, going to see a maximum of about 25 miles an hour, I'm not as worried about it. And so this is the menagerie you get. It's all pre-coupled, which I don't really like that much, but you got the battery here, and then you've got the the speakers. They have a Velcro attachment point on the back of them here. We'll run these into this hole here. See how this fits. Okay, so it looks like it's a little tight. Just pull all this back out of here. I tidy this up just a little bit more. This is a round-sided file on one side and square on the other. And it's actually a combination fine and rough rasp. Not necessarily a file, but it's made for wood. I think it'll work fine for this. That should work fine. I think I can get this up through here, can I? It's still a wee bit tight. Looks like the ends are where it's tight. So. I want to keep it as small as possible. Okay, I think that should do it. Right there, that fits nice and snug. So, take this back out of here, get this all cleaned up good. Take just our air hose and... Okay, so I had a little bit of a dilemma, a couple things. Number one, this of course is not really meant for this helmet, so it wasn't really the right thing. So I was worried about it, but I went ahead and drilled this out kind of foolishly, but luckily I figured out what I can do to make this work. So there's these two mount holes that are here, and so this goes into here, and then you have to, of course the original helmet, they're already pre-drilled out and they've got kind of a mounting plate there. This doesn't have that. So what I have to do is I've had to come up with a solution to be able to basically hold some retainer clips of some kind, something to hold this in here. So what I've come up with is I've got this little scrap piece of metal from something I've salvaged here, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this plate, and we'll use this plate, both sides of this plate on each end, and that should allow us to do that. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how I do that real quick here. So this is a pair of tin snips. That worked just fine. We'll file this down a little bit. Cutting those with that tin snips kind of bent these a little bit out of shape, so I'm just kind of straightening them out a little bit here. All right, and I think these are our mounting screws. I think these will go into this, just no problem there. So we'll bring this up through here. So I'm just going to use this like a washer. I apologize, this is kind of hard to see, but all I'm doing here is trying to put the attach the screws here. This little screwdriver should work. We'll start that one, and then we'll do the other one here. Okay, I don't want to over tighten this, I just want to snug it up. Now to figure out what to do with this stuff is I've just got this little package of Velcro. And what I like to do with Velcro when I'm pushing it on is I match up the two sides. So we'll just stick this one side to the battery and the other to the helmet. Okay, so we've got the speakers there and the boom mic here. So here's the cheek pad. So we want these to sit basically here or here. So what I've got to figure out first of all is where this one should go, and so it can, it has to mount that way, and I think the way to go would be to just run it right like that and actually sneak it up underneath this cheek pad and out the front here, so it runs in that way. That's a little more destructive than I want to be, but I think that's probably going to be my only bet. So large Phillips screwdriver, and I'll just take and punch that right through there. I'll try to. There we go. So you can see there, I've just punched that through there. Feed that boom mic through there. Cut just a little bit more of that out. Again, this isn't, I'm not trying to do a nice job or anything on this. This is kind of just more of a test. And I'm going to be upgrading helmets anyway here pretty soon, and so this will just get us functional for a little while until we get those new helmets. So that's all there's to it, I think. So we'll go ahead and run this up underneath the back of the padding here. Bring the chin strap through. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this little tab out a little bit because I'm concerned with it interfering with these cords. Okay, so that'll go in there. This isn't really difficult, it's just a little tricky. You kind of wish you had about 6 more hands when you do it, At least that was my experience with my putting in my PackTalk Slim is, it was really quite easy. It, you know, snaps right in and goes right in. There's really not that technical or difficulty or anything like that, but it sure makes you wish you had a few extra hands. So, all right, so that runs right above the chin strap. You have the microphone right up here, up the top here, and if you can see, right down in there is the speaker. So that should be right in the ear cavity area for my kids. And then go to the other side, and I think what I'm going to do is, so these little Velcro patches, the soft side is what this sticks to, so the back of the speaker is the rough side, and that way if you pull it out, all you've got is this soft felt type stuff. I'm going to put it right above where the chin strap goes, stick it to that hard surface that's there, and that's going to hold that fairly decent. So, well, there it is. So you can see that's nice, solid. It's not going to get caught on things. It's really in there quite good. We got the charging port to the back, which is an important thing there, I think. You know, you can run these while they're running that way. If we look down here, you can see the microphone right there. So if all goes well, I should be able to pair this with my PackTalk Slim on my Orion XD4, which is a Cardo unit, and this is a Sena. I won't be able to use the mesh technology, but I will be able to use the Bluetooth pairing technology, supposedly. So I'll give this a good charge and we'll give it a shot. I'll show you guys once this is charged.